been thinking about this for quite some time. I've been debating with some of the smartest AI tools, the last 12 updates. And I've been debating how the smartest people in the world, particularly the leaders, have actually won all the battles one on one or as a team, as a group of individuals. And what's very important is that the history always repeats itself, regardless of whether you like it or you don't like it. The history always repeats itself, and if you don't want to study the history, it's okay. That's on you. But you should understand that there's a very high chance for you to be conquered by not understanding the history. And the history currently is repeating one on one with the 1700s history. Let me save you some time reading, save you some time comprehension, asking ChatGPT what this means, etc. Right? In the history, you always want to be the smartest in the room. But in fact, in 1700s, the people who were ruling the world were not the smartest. They were, in fact, surrounded by the smartest people in the world. They were surrounded by advisors, people who were war lords under shadow. They were not publicly announced. They were not publicly scheduled to be the war leaders. They were scheduled to manage the actual army, but they were exceptionally good in psychology and strategy. They knew exactly how to extract the most of every single battlefield. Sometimes you just know that you're going to lose this battle. The question is how you can actually benefit from it. What is the most alpha you can extract from this battle? In terms of knowledge, in terms of skills or experience for your army, and take it from someone like myself who is usually operating by himself, who believes in wishes to bet on himself, not on other people. Because I know that when I bet on myself, I'm going to put 200%. I'm not going to sleep. I'm not going to eat. I'm not going to drink water until the task is completed, until the objective is completed. That's who I am. That's my personality. And I've seen a lot of people who are getting a very hard time to get motivated to put 400% of themselves. And this is why I understood that, if you want something to get done, you have to do it by yourself. That's probably not a secret. A lot of you born leaders understand that. But in life, sometimes there are tasks that you cannot really complete by yourself. There's a multi-level strategy. Sometimes you just have to plan slowly and execute fast. You need to spend a lot of time setting the enemy. You have to spend a lot of time analyzing the best possible way for you to actually interact with the enemy, which will actually balance or equal the playing field. Let's say you're fighting someone who is much stronger than you. Let's say there is Achilles who's trying to fight someone like Caesar, right? Who has a immense power of human bodies who will fight not only for him but who will fight for Rome as well. You don't understand that if you understand the strategic benefits of slow planning, picking up spots or moments in time to attack the enemy, you might actually have a 50-50% chance. If you pick the spot when the Achilles was actually hurt, when the Achilles was actually out of shape, you could have a 50-50% chance of beating him. Same goes for Hercules, right? A lot of people think that Hercules was the most strongest human being, a partial god, a semi-god, and no one as an actual human can beat Hercules. But if you pick the exact time, if you schedule the battle on the time when he was weak, when he was hurt, when he was distracted, you have an actual physical, realistic 50-50% chance to beat Hercules as a normal human. When you understand this, your battlefield winning strategy as a leader of one or leaderess army or leaderess of country completely changes. Let's take an example of country as North Korea, right? They have been trying a lot of experiments. They have been trying to launch rockets. They've been trying to launch nuclear weapons. But honestly, it's all buzz. They don't really believe that they can actually have accurate strikes on any country around the world. It's just nonsense. But let's say they wait for the exact time frame or time in the world history when there's no equal manpower that can actually contribute to the winner or loser in a war where, let's say, other country, non-US, because US is superior in launching rockets, compete to each other. Let's say North Korea decides to pick up a time in place in the world history when none of the other countries competing has achieved anything significant. Let's pick, for example, India. India has tried to achieve launching rockets, has tried to achieve reusable rockets. China today actually posted a video of achieving reusable rockets, which in my opinion could be very likely, in my opinion, personally, to be an AI. But they pick their time, they pick their enemies, and they pick their enemies in particular time frame. So they have the highest probability of success. It's not about fighting anyone anytime. It's about fighting a particular enemy in time when the enemy is weak. Strategy is the most important asset. If you have to hire someone in your army or in your team, has to be a perfectly experienced strategist, a person who understands how the tables are changing and who is actually managing or confronting the tables. This is the person you want to hire. You don't want to hire some, low life bouncer who's going to be fighting left and right. No, because the guy's going to get tired and it's done. But if you have a strategist who is always on top of the game, who's always following up what is the next technology used to win the war? What is the next strategy to win the war? If you go back in time, because I did a lot of history, Alexander the Great won wars and battlefields when he sent just normal humans to fight a war elephants. He sent a normal humans to fight war elements. And when he beat the elephants, you know how he actually did it? Sure, the first line of soldiers, Alexander the Great, lost the battle. They died because the elephants actually stepped on them. But what happened next is the second line and the third line of his own army confused the elephants, and elephants went back and actually stepped over and killed majority of the original army that was fighting Alexander the Great. So the person who actually built the strategy of Alexander the Great army knew exactly how this is going to play out. He didn't say that, you know what, the first line of your army is gonna die. He just said that, you know what, you're going to win this war if you do this, this, and this. Find strategists for your business and keep them, pay them well, take a very good care of them. If before the salesperson or sales individuals in your company were the most important, now it's the strategists. $12 million a month profit, taking only one trade. Most people are naive, or I would say rather stupid. They don't really want to listen the real individual investors that are on the market that are like themselves, like me, right? They're rather gonna go and listen Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, the BlackRocks of the world, thinking that they're actually getting some alpha, some insider information, knowledge about the market. Well, you're kind of wrong. You kind of remind me of the women who fall under the same situation, believing the bad boys in the world of dating, and they're having super bad experience being lied to, cheat on, or single mother left to the rest of their lives. This is how you're gonna end up losing all your money, following all the news finance channels, all the big boys on Wall Street. They really have no interest explaining to you how the market works. And if you look, since the Wall Street enters each and every money making scheme is no longer working. People who trade
crypto, before Coinbase establishment, before Bitcoin ETF, before Ethereum ETF, before the government reserves, before this, before that. Crypto market was very, very fun. Anyone could, you know, make money trading whatever they want because it was between individual investors. The market was kind of fair. Sure, you could always be someone with substantial technological advancements. People were building some bots, some trading, alternative trading systems, but still was relatively easy. Now we have money marketing firms, Wall Street, are money making the actual crypto transactions. Same thing happened with the stock market for many, many years. All the orders are effectively executed off the market, which is not making the market more fair. Uh, you need to understand the market is structured and definitely organized against you. Why? Even if you don't want to do that, let's say you have your 9 to 5 work, let's say you have 401k. Your 401k, your retirement investments are strictly forced to buy into either Fidelity, BlackRock, all the ETFs, whatever. So retirement funds are forced to invest your money into very particular investment baskets, very particular asset classes. This is the same scenario what happened with the IPO of SpaceX. $1 trillion IPO, there is no $1 trillion on the market, new money to buy into this IPO. So what they're going to do, they forced a lot of retirement funds to actually buy into, get a chunk out of this IPO on the open market, so they will be able to essentially sell the shares. You to understand that the structure is something that cannot be changed, right? But if you follow your own investment ideas, you kind of put on the side, you kind of protecting yourself, you kind of building your own, individual, semi-independent trading mechanisms. Because if you're not hopping on the trend, you're not actually trying to become, target for Wall Street. But like I said, most people are simply so naive. They think that Wall Street is going to give them the answers. Wall Street is taking care of the price action. They always think that when you try to sell, there's always going to be someone on the market to buy whatever you hold, or vice versa, which is not the case. Uh, Remember, if you get rich, you most likely won't be a client of Wall Street anymore. If you get rich, you most likely won't be able to contribute to the volumes. You're not going to be buying and selling. You're not going to be paying fees for management. If you're smart enough, you most likely you're not going to be using any asset manager. You're not going to be using any wealth manager. Most likely, you're not going to be looking of the terms and conditions of all of these hedge funds were kept locking up funds. They put new terms and conditions updates. We suspend withdrawals. The market is going bust, but you cannot withdraw your funds. Otherwise, you're gonna get fined 3%, 5%, 10%. Right? You need to understand the very, 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 very rich people. They don't need all these smart guys to tell them what to do with their money. Right? This is very unusual how some of the people are still, kind of fall into the same trap. Because if you made some money on the market, you know what to buy, you know how to hedge your market position, you know how to escape the volatility, you know how to effectively, break down the position either on the buy or sell side to not move the markets. You know how to utilize the derivative market to hedge your original stock position, the equity position. Right? You know all these things. You don't have to run financial models. You don't have to, run simulation to see which one works and which doesn't. Start surrounding yourself with people like yourself. Don't surround yourself with people that are not like yourself. Don't surround yourself with people who are effectively distributing wealth, managing wealth, or people who are using completely different scale of investment portfolio. Right? Just surround yourself with people like yourself. Use your own logic. Anyone now has AI. Anyone can run different models. Anyone can run different data. You have data points that are unique. You might pick the last 6 years of S&P 500, add the last 3 years of Nasdaq, last 2 years of Dow Jones, and then you can add some of the technology indices from Asia, and then you can summarize and look which particular indices are kind of linked. Is there a cyclical moves that you can actually predict? Because today, as you can see, we have meta stock down, we have crypto stocks down, we have S&P 500 up, we have VIX down, we have oil prices down, we have gold up, we have silver down. It's no freaking correlation. which prior, if you take all the same example tickers I just gave you, you will see a very fine line between the prices of each one, kind of interconnected, moving up or down based on the opposite signals. But now nothing works like that. So everyone can build its own model that helps him to identify potential underpriced assets, overvalued assets. The other day I was running a model shorting $100 million worth of Bitcoin with 1000x leverage of 100k position original, put it as a collateral. And I took an average of how many percentage every single month Bitcoin has seen decline since January. On average, Bitcoin has seen a decline of 12%. So this 1000% X leverage de facto will give you around $12 million a month profit, taking only one trade. So now you will be sitting where end of June will be sitting over $70 million in profits trading Bitcoin alone. You have to look at the markets, AI nonsense, overhype Max 7. No. Focus on one thing, run one model, and keep updating the data points. Right? I use completely different data points from the Bitcoin ETFs, inflows, outflows. I use completely different data points from my personal trading history, the position sizing, the collateral ratio between the actual fees that are associated with the borrowing. If you borrow on 50x, on 100x, on 500x, on 1000x, you have different fees, you have different risk management. So when you have unique data points, you're capable to have unique results. No one, I guarantee you, no one had this particular strategy short in Bitcoin, $100 million positions since January. No one had made $70 million with only $100,000 original investment put up as a collateral in utilizing the 1000x leverage. Remember, being unique is your own leverage that cannot be taken, cannot be replicated. No one can replicate your strategy because it's yours. You come up with it. They're not in your mind, they're not in your computer, they're not in your AI model.